Alright, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about weapons, how to get them, what blueprints are, accessories are, some of the sort of simple things, especially for the new console players coming in, or maybe you want to refamiliarize yourself with the game if you're a returning player. Maybe if you're a veteran, you'll learn a couple things, or you'll be able to provide some help in the comments as well for some of the new players joining us. But again, this is mainly targeted at the new folks. Welcome in. Hope you have a good time. Once Human's a fantastic game. The community is very helpful. And yeah, today we're going to break down weapons, how to get them, what they do, what you can do with them. So if you hit, you can really do it in a number of ways. Just go into your inventory. I just go I, and then there's the blueprints tab at the top. This is where sort of your long-term progression for once Human comes in. This is the blueprint system. With blueprints, you'll be able to unlock and learn new weapons that have different core effects and really change up the playstyle of how you play, what kind of things you enjoy out of a weapon, what kind of weapons you enjoy. And there's a lot to unpack here. It'll be very overwhelming to start out with, I'm not going to lie to you, but there's also a lot of freedom here. So I want to start off with that you're never truly going to brick your account, but there are mistakes that you can make. So I first off want to preface how to get blueprints. So these, you can see at the top of each blueprint, there is the star count. I call them stars, they're more like little pips. And then top right, you have this purple currency called Starchrom. So Starchrom is obtained in a number of ways. You can get it in a weekly limit of Starchrom. You can actually see that in that interface as well. You have a weekly allotment of Starchrom. You don't have to worry about hitting that weekly allotment of Starchrom as long as you get it within the month. So basically is a week by week rollover that resets at the start of every month. So you can get, I think it's 15,000 or 16,000 a week, and then it's 66,000 per, or was it 12,000? But you can basically you can get like 15,000 Starchrom a week, and that'll roll over in the next week of the month. So 4 rollovers per month, generally 4 weeks a month. So you can get a certain amount a week, and then you can get a max amount that will carry over per month, which is 66,000, which is a pretty good amount. It's a lot better than it used to be, but first starting out the game, you're not going to have much. You're going to want to be very wise with how you use your Starchrom. If you started playing at the end of the month, you're going to have 66,000 Starchrom for you to earn, which is a lot. You might not be able to meet that within, you know, a couple days of August ending. But try and push for as much as you can. Don't burn yourself out. And this purple currency is what's going to be used to unlock these blueprints and level them up. So as you can see, I've got them at level 4 here. And again, I might have actually skipped over it. Little bad guide on me here. If you want to get Starchrom, you get Starchrom boxes as a first time reward for clearing out POIs completely. So as you can see, for repairing, I get a Starchrom box. What repairing means is you go to the world stones, which are the teleporters, and you just hit F on them. Bang. That gives you a 500 Starchrom box that will contribute to your weekly allotment or your monthly total. And then you can also get Starchrom from just killing enemies, completing dungeons, which are these monoliths here. These are bosses, and then these smaller ones here. They're actually, they should make these bigger. These are silos, so like mini dungeons with like packs of mobs. And then you have the raids, 2 raids, Leah Lab. I'm on the Endless Dreams server. Your map might look a little bit different. I'm on Endless Dreams, which I don't recommend for new players. For new players, I actually recommend Manibus. And I'm actually going to quickly switch over to that character. Back on Starchrom, the purple currency you use to get your weapons. You want to be wise with it. You really don't want to waste it at the start, because again, you won't have an abundance of it like I do. I've been playing the game for a couple of years now. And I've got most things leveled up to a very high point where I have a lot of freedom, but there's also a sort of fail-safe that'll prevent you from bricking and making the wrong decisions. This is my other character here. He's on a Manibus, or she's on a Manibus server, which just has the bottom right of the map. This is going to be probably the best scenario for you to pick if you're a new player. It's just Manibus. I don't recommend Manibus Novice. I'm probably going to do a separate video on scenarios. I don't want to include too much about that here. So again, going back to the blueprint tab, you want to be wise with what you pick. So this is where sort of some personal preferences going to want to come in. I recommend you read through what the legendary weapons are, what they do, and what sounds fun. Don't worry about meta right now. I'm going to be honest with you, and this is going to sound very cheesy. Once Human is a pretty easy game. Especially when you get to a sort of mid-game, late-game stage, it's very easy. It's not a hard game, it's a fun game. And what I mean by that is there's no real wrong choice to the weapons you pick. Every weapon is fun, every weapon has a viable in-game build, despite what some veterans will tell you. There is no meta in this fucking game. If you want to have fun and this weapon sounds cool to you, use it. Now, I love min-maxing builds, and that is a thing that you will probably look forward to or might look forward to at Endgame. Don't worry about min-maxing meta builds right now. Focus on the fun, what sounds fun, as it's going to clear 99% of the content in the game with ease. There are min-max builds that'll clear things faster, and at an endgame level, it's all about speedrunning and getting rewards the fastest. Don't worry about that. Ignore what people tell you. Use this, meta guns, use these, start with these. No. Read through what the legendary weapons are. Does it sound fun to you? Hey, maybe you want to use a crossbow that shoots out lightning bolts, or a bow that shoots out bouncing arrows, or an AK that has giant spikes of ice. Like, does it sound fun to you, right? And that's my big important thing here. Use your Starchrom at the start on what sounds fun. And if you don't like it, don't worry. They have a system called Blueprint Conversion, where you can convert any weapon to something else that you might enjoy more. I do want to preface, this system will only work if you have the base unlocked. So pick a couple weapons with the Starchrom you earn. Also pick some armor in here, more importantly the key armor. And this is where your most important decision will come in, is when you pick a weapon, there's usually a key armor that responds with that weapon. And what I mean by key armor is they have this little like shiny icon in the top right of the blueprint. It's basically a key effect that synergizes with certain weapons. So for example, as you can see here, this is the cage helmet. It has a shrapnel effect. Shrapnel is a keyword that some of the weapons have, and these sound a little bit overwhelming and complex, but all it is to say is there's base sort of effects in the game. Those are, I would say, the sort of key of every weapon. So for example, you can actually just see it at the top here. You can see that this is a Frost Vortex weapon, right? If I go to this Org Electrum Cloud, you can see that it's a Power Surge weapon. And generally speaking, there's going to be a key armor blueprint that corresponds best with that weapon. So for example, I'm reading through all these legendary blueprints. Oh man, let's say that the hazardous object Glock 17 sounds really fun. We can see that that's unstable bomber. So now we should look for a key armor that corresponds with unstable bomber. So we can look through here. We can look on the first page. We can see that the winter cap has an unstable bomber effect. When triggering unstable bomber, auto load 1 bullet, unstable bomber damage rate plus 25%. That one sounds alright, but there's also more than one option. So this is, again, reading is important and sort of figuring things out. Hey, here's another one, Viper Mask. Unstable bomber damage range plus 50% for every 2% unstable bomber damage range bonus. Now, I do want to preface, as you can see, sort of some of these might not sound good for the weapon, right? Like, as we can see, this piece of armor here, this key armor, as you can see, it's got that rainbow effect, sounds like it increases unstable bomber damage at range, but the weapon we are looking at is a pistol, so that's probably not a good option, is it? So we can look through, we can see if there's some other options in here. Maybe we can go to the next tab, we can see that there might be another option in here, if I can actually find it. Unstable bomber detonation delay plus 0.3 seconds with unstable bomber damage multiplier plus 30%. So now it's giving us more damage. It sounds like it could work in close range. Hey, maybe this is a good option for the Glock 17, right? So you're thinking logically about what pairs with the weapon you want to try. So at a baseline, first thing I recommend, pick a weapon that sounds fun, then pick some armor based on that. And after you've picked your key armor and weapon, so again, key armor you can only have one of. You can only have one key armor equipped for all slots. So as you can see on my character here, I've got the cage helmet on and I can't have anything else here. Then you have the other slots. This is a little bit more experimental and you might have to read a little bit more about this. And this might be relative to when you start getting into build guides. I'm going to start pumping out build guides again, but in the short term, I'm going to recommend you over to a creator called Doomeris. He does fantastic build guides for PvE, where it really goes in depth on the mechanics of how weapons work and the stat breakdowns. And I used to do those videos as well. I'm only just getting back into that myself. I'm going to be releasing new ones here shortly, starting off with the SKS probably in a few days. But if you're in the short term, maybe you're getting to that mid-late game a little bit faster, I highly recommend Doomeris. I'll have his tags in the description. And again, jumping back onto the whole blueprint synergy thing we were talking about beforehand. Again, read through it. If it sounds fun, let's pair it with something that sounds like it matches it. And again, if it doesn't work, like let's say you try the Shaman Vulture Top with the Glock 17, right, with the Unsealed Bomber Glock. Oh, we're like, damn, it doesn't really match that well. It doesn't synergize well. That's fine. We can just convert that using the blueprint conversion system, like so. We can take the Shaman Vulture Top, and we can convert those pips, which is the strength of the blueprint, if I didn't mention it. So it started at tier 1 when you unlock it for the first time. You'll keep leveling it up with more Starchrom, basically feeding it to level up the pips, level up the stars. It'll increase the PSI, the HP, which in turn increases your damage, especially with elemental builds. I'm not going to get too specific right here. Higher stars is just better. That's what you really need to know. And let's just say we want to try it with, swap it with something else for a different weapon we're trying. You can just use this blueprint conversion system, and you can switch any blueprint around. It's obviously armor into armor. You can't do weapon into armor and vice versa. But any sort of armor that you want to try, you can just flip the stars around, which is really nice. On top of that, you have the other slots that you'll need to fill out, the rest of the armor, right? This is where armor effects and set effects come in. So bonus or set effects are a big thing in this game. For this current build I'm running, I'm using something called the Dark Resonance set, which has at 2 pieces. And you can actually see bottom right underneath the sort of icon there what the effects are there. So I'm getting, you know, you might not understand these terms, but I'm getting using ultimate grant shield, using deviant power, grant status damage. Don't have to worry about what that is exactly. Again, guys like Doomeris, and when I eventually get back into making guides for weapons, I'll break that stuff down for you. But at the end of the day, it's basically helping you boost your damage in sort of technical ways. Is another way to look at it. And again, at the early stage of the game, you don't have to worry about it. The most important thing in the game, and especially doing your first scenario, doing your first experience on Minibus, you're not really worried about that. Just pick a weapon that sounds fun, shoot it, you're going to get to max level. You're going to blast through the content without even worrying about any of the stuff, I'm going to be honest. It's a very, respectfully, it's an easy game at the end of the day. Getting onto the rest of the armor, again, read through it, see what set effects sound cool to you. So like Renegade Jacket is good for weak spot builds. Weak spot is headshots basically in Hunstmen. But weak spots are called weak spots because they can also be triggered in other ways than just headshots. But the guaranteed way to proc weak spots in Hunstmen is headshots. But there are boots and weapons that will allow you to hit weak spots that aren't headshots, such as the old Huntsman boots. And this is where that build theory crafting really comes into play. Don't stress about it too much. It's a really in-game feature. Pick what sounds fun, and then you can look up a build guide. You always have the blueprint conversion failsafe. If you don't like something, you can get an allotment of Starchrom per week. And that's sort of the whole crux of the system. You also get weapon drops from doing content. So for example, if I go do a boss right now, again, so we're just quickly going to do this boss. I don't have any elemental weapons on me, so this is going to be a little bit painful actually. I'm actually just going to quickly put this here. Holy bloom. I don't have the attachments on, I don't think. But as you can see, that is the literally hardest boss in the... Or not the hardest boss in the game, the hardest version of this boss. Oh, they added Steam achievements, that's cool. But this is the hardest version of this boss in the game. As you can see, it's pretty easy. That's without food buffs. I also think I had the wrong armor on there. And I also didn't have the correct setup on for destroying the tentacles. So as you can see, an in-game level becomes very easy. Which means it's also easy early game because, again, I wasn't even min-maxed in that boss run. So you don't have to worry about it too much. And did I get a weapon drop? I think I got a weapon drop. You get weapon drops so you can try out other stuff. There's a lot of fun weapons in this game that you can mess around with. Don't stress about min-maxing an early game, and yeah, have fun is the most important thing. And you always have the blueprint conversion failsafe if you end up picking something you don't like. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about in today's video. Don't stress too much. How to pick weapons, how to get Starchrom. I'll see you guys in the next video. It's either going to be the SKS build guide, my first sort of mid to late in-game build guide, or it's going to be breaking down the sort of nitty-gritty details of features in the game. Like that you might not understand, like things like mods and all that kind of stuff. So how to really amplify your builds and get min-maxy. I won't, again, you're not going to worry about this when you're first time playing. When you get to max level in your first scenario, then you'll start dabbling in the mod system. Leveling up for the first time, you're probably going to have like 2 or 3 mods. Don't worry about it right now. It's basically a way to amplify, again, your builds. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.